What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream. Recording here for Thursday's 4-game main slate. James, I have checked the recording. We are currently actually recording sound this time. Unfortunately, we recorded a nice 40-minute podcast breaking down yesterday's awesome slate, which was a banger, right? A lot of good guys did a lot of good things for us there in our DFS lineups last night. Unfortunately, all of our breakdown that we had for the podcast and live stream, no sound. You saw our mouths moving. You saw us going through the DraftKings slate here, but you got no context to what was going on. But I see the voice meters here moving, so sound's being recorded this time.
Great. Cheers to us for figuring out technology on this Thursday morning.
It's only happened once or twice. You know?
Shout out to everyone that got to watch a soundless podcast yesterday. I'm sure you gathered a lot of content before it was taken down. But yeah, good to be back. Little 4-game slate on our hands. The Heat are on a back-to-back. I think that's the only. The Clippers are on a back-to-back as well. So we'll have to watch to see who's in, who's out there. But the most notable news in Vegas, news and notes, I should say, Pelicans Jazz 232 slate high. Over under 1 point spread in favor of the Pelicans there. And then Milwaukee, Memphis, 226.5. Memphis 2-point favorites at home. So that should be a really good game.
No Memphis, Drew Holiday in that matchup. So
Memphis
already ruled out.
Memphis, #1 seed in the West. Tied for the #1 seed in the West, I should say, with New Orleans. Number overall 2 pick in that draft. Seemingly doing fine in their careers. Yeah. And then the Bucks are the 2 seeds in the East, so should be a great game. Nice little fun slate. A lot of news in the balance here. We got all that word about the Heat, who's in, who's out for the Miami last night. So
a lot of guys questionable to play today, right? Bam popped up there. I think Hero popped up on there. So yeah, very interesting news on a 4-gamer to see how that all breaks down. You mentioned the Ja Morant, Zion Williamson draft. We've had some banger drafts for 5 years in a row. It feels like, we went a while where Anthony Bennett was being the #1 overall pick, and we had the guy who wouldn't fly, go in the lottery.
Royce White,
right? And those are some awful NBA drafts where maybe 1 player, 2 players became role players. I obviously don't have those draft lists, but for the last handful of years now, legitimate NBA superstars, across the NBA drafts here. So, some super exciting times. This upcoming year, they're re-allowing the high schoolers, the 18-year-olds, to re-enter the NBA draft. So, the years of Jalen Green going to the G League or wherever he was playing, right? Doesn't have to happen anymore. They just, they can just go and go right to the NBA. So, yeah, the NBA product has been ridiculous. These young guys are coming into the game right now and just instantly being productive. Paolo Banchero last night, another just big-time performance out of him, a guy that we were high on. So, yeah, fun to see, fun to watch these young guys really blossom here, and, good product the NBA is putting out on the floor.
Yeah, and it's not getting any worse. I mean, if you look at who the top 2 picks projected next year, Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson,
Wembanyama is already being talked about as the greatest NBA player of all time. So
yeah, I think I wasn't sure if we'd ever have a comparison to what LeBron was coming out of high school. It's Wiggins is the next LeBron, or this guy is the next LeBron, but this is different, right? This Wembanyama talk is different. This is a stratosphere that seemingly has never been reached, probably since LeBron, right?
Wembanyama is supposedly coming into the league with the length of Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? And the shooting ability of prime Kevin Durant. So, I don't know, he's going out there, he's putting up 22, 30-point games with 15 rebounds, blocks, steals. He's putting pull-up threes.
He's doing Dirk one-leggers from the 3-point line.
From the 3-point line, yeah. So, everything, whenever we're always imagine if Giannis could hit 40% from 3, how dangerous he would be. Well, that's what Victor Wembanyama is supposedly going to enter the league and become. So, yeah, there's some crazy talent coming into the league here, and it just makes our job that much better, right? We enjoy the game of basketball. We love watching the sport. We love breaking it down from a DFS perspective for all of you guys, and many more exciting years to come. But let's go back and focus here on the 4-gamer. We'll start at the point guard position. As you mentioned, John Morant is your top priced point guard for this slate here. Booker's questionable. We already know Drew Holiday is ruled out. A big price bump to Chris Paul because he was wildly underpriced last slate there in the slate prior. $8,200 for him. CJ McCollum's at 72. Again, a small slate, so I don't really want to break it down in tiers. Just like, where are you going, focusing in on where your player pool will be today at the point guard position?
I mean, I definitely love Ja. No Drew Holiday defense is a big deal. I mean, look, we get 35 minutes out of Ja, and he goes for 57. Next day, only 30 minutes, triple-double, 6 for 20 from the floor. He still gets us 48 fantasy points. Like, this guy is a machine. This is going to be a really competitive game. So I love Ja. Booker, obviously, if he plays, is interesting. I don't think we can get to Chris Paul at 82 if Booker does play, although it would be contrarian for sure. I really like this next tier of guys. CJ McCollum, I think, stands out to me. Look, I know he was 6 of 17, but that whole game was a disaster. And what an anomaly 0 assist is. Like, that's just doesn't happen for CJ McCollum. As a guy averaging 6 per game. He's had 4 more in every game since returning from COVID IR. So, love CJ McCollum, 72. That's the best game environment on the board. Kevin Porter is interesting, especially if Kyle Lowry sits. I think, we could see Kevin Porter have a ceiling performance.
Yeah, Lowry has been playing back-to-back, so I don't know if he would.
Well, last night the report came out from Heat beat reporter Ira Winderman.
Yeah.
And he said Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo, Victor Oladipo are uncertain for Thursday.
Okay.
And they don't have it listed on DraftKings, and that's obviously the confusion. But Winderman came out and said that it was reported after their game last night. Okay. So we have to monitor Lowry, Oladipo. I figured Oladipo would sit on the back-to-back. First off, good to see if he does play the back-to-back. That's pretty cool.
Right.
But interesting, Bam and Lowry. I mean, that's huge news. That would obviously bolster everyone else. I think we fully expect Butler to be back because it's new management right now.
If there's no Bam and Lowry, Butler maybe becomes the top play of the slate.
Right? Yeah, he could. Yeah, him and Hero, very solid spot. I will grant, Houston's they've been a little better lately. Like, just these last couple games, holding their opponents to 92 and 97 points. They're 6-4 over their last 10 games too.
I mean, they beat Milwaukee and Phoenix.
Right. And no one scored against them either. So, like, it is something to be noted. Maybe they are turning the corner defensively. But I do think if there's no Lowry, Kevin Porter Jr. stands out. And you know what? You can get to Kyle Lowry on the other end of the spectrum. If there's no Butler, like, I think it's a low. Doesn't have like the greatest ceiling if like Bam and Hero are healthy, but
no, he's gonna give. What I said the other day was he gives you like 30 fantasy points. He gave you 28 last night. Like, that's just where he's at right now. He gave you his ceiling when it was just him and guys from the G League that got called up, and that's about it. So, I agree with you. I do like that core there. Clarkson, Conley, they're back. Clarkson's been back. Conley came back. Played 28 minutes in that game. Didn't really do a ton, but the 28 minutes certainly encouraging. 25 minutes a game before that.
No one's going to play him, John.
Yeah.
By the way. And I think he's 2 for 8 shooting, for a guy averaging 10 points per game. If he goes...
Everybody's just going to play NAW again. Like, that's what's going to happen.
I think Conley's contrarian. Because he was, before his injury, he was playing he got a couple games of mid-30s minutes. And, we 40 fantasy points against the Suns, 33 against the Knicks in back-to-back games. I think Mike Conley a little sneaky here on this 4-gamer.
Yeah, small. I don't mind it. We definitely know he has some upside again. NAW is going to be in there. John Wall probably plays today. He didn't play yesterday.
Yep.
Do we think Reggie Jackson sits at all here?
I don't know. Jackson sat once over the weekend, but like I think that was his first night off all year.
Okay.
I
he
feel like
been
he
playing
plays
back to back. So like he played on 11:29, 11:30. He played on 12:7, 12:8. So not unlike for him to play.
Yeah, I think he plays, but I mean, you never. I get like it's the NBA is a wild place these days.
Yep. Javon Carter. I know you were upset playing him the other day, but he was like 70% rostered.
He was fine. He ended up fine.
He was $3,300. He gave you 19 fantasy points. He is $4,300 now. Still no Drew Holiday. Played 28 minutes. But the last 2 games where he played 28 minutes, only 3 and 5 shot attempts.
Yeah, you can't have it. You can't have it.
Just not out there chucking when Middleton's active. So a tough spot to spend down there. Who plays point guard then for? I guess it'd be Butler and Hero, right? If Lowry sits, because Vincent's been out.
Yeah, they started. Where is this guy? Did they cut him? Drew Smith? He's not even on there. He's not even on the DraftKings.
Yeah, he must have gotten sent back down then.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have said Drew Smith because they played Oladipo 31 minutes last night, John.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent last update was will not play Wednesday. So that was yesterday. So we'll see. If Gabe Vincent, he hasn't played since the 5th, so
they said it's unlikely the guard will be available for either game.
Got point Struss maybe.
Well, what if would you play Oladipo if he played 31 minutes last night?
Yeah, I mean if he's active and everybody else is out, I'd play Oladipo. But again, this would be his first back-to-back, right?
Yeah, it would be a first back-to-back.
Campaign's out of this game already, and if we don't have Devin Booker, kind of skipping a little bit the shooting guard here, but Landry Shamet started. I told you that he sucks. Still stand by that. But he did have 28 fantasy points in 32 minutes. We also liked Damian Lee, but the fact that there's no campaign now either, and if Booker's out, you got to think both of those guys will be in play for some value on this slate here. Obviously, if Booker's in, you could probably go there, though, a tough price point. Does Paul George play the back-to-back here?
I think he would.
Yeah, he played 7 and 8, played 12-7, 12-8, so PG's been out of his mind lately. Triple-double last night.
Yeah, even on the night where he just didn't shoot well, and, it was clearly Kawhi was clearly the alpha. I think Kawhi took a bunch of shots last night. Yeah, I would get to PG because we both fully expect Kawhi to sit too. So
I would think so. Yeah. Did Leonard play a back-to-back? He did not play the back-to-back.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they have already told us that he's not playing back-to-backs this year, but we'll have to. We can look. I'll look to see if there's anything official on their injury report. If their injury report is even released.
Hero had 35 actual last night. Played 40 minutes. You can just always play Tyler Hero. Though I know you've been wary of jump shooters on back-to-backs.
I'd play him. I'd probably play him.
He's very good.
Yeah,
should have been a Boston Celtic.
Instead, Indiana Pacer great Aaron Nesmith was.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Clarkson, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Malik Beasley, all of them in play.
Oh, I hate that. That tier
Beasley
stinks.
played 31 minutes again. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
33, 32 fantasy points the last 3 games for him.
Yeah, if he's gonna play and he's gonna score, probably my favorite player in that tier. To be honest, is probably my favorite one in that tier. I think Clarkson kind of has taken. 27 and 17 fantasy points with Conley back. I don't think that's a coincidence. Just the ball's not in his hands as much.
Explain this one to me. Jalen Green is the cheapest he's been since the middle of November. With 40 plus in 3 of the last 4. Is this just simply a slate price adjustment because there's only 4 games, or
probably
they're just looking at Miami and they're hitting him with the algo, but 7K, 69, 71, 7K, 3 of the last 4 he went for 40 plus, and here he is at 6,600.
Yeah, you're right, and you know what? I changed my tune on Jalen Green a little bit here. 7 or more assists or rebounds in those 40-point games too, right? seeing the production that is not typical of Jalen Green, which is good. It's great to see.
Last year our complaint was he's really only scoring. This year he's averaging almost 22, 4, and 4 to round up.
Right.
Like that's big.
And now we're getting 10 of those.
Yeah.
More, 3 of the last 4, 10 or more we've gotten. So to go along with the scoring. So yeah, I think Jalen Green, if there's one spot to attack Miami, it's Tyler Hero defensively. So I'm with you. I'm going to get on board there.
Okay. Again, that whole mid 6K range is in play for us for sure. Where do you go after that? Or any value? Max Struss, I assume, will be a guy we want in if everybody's out. Those minutes will certainly increase from 18. So $4,800, a good value play.
Interesting to see that, by the way, because Oladipo plays 30, Strus goes down to 17. Like, is that what we're looking at moving forward?
Probably. Grayson Allen hit all 6 of his shots the other day. That's tough to trust there.
Yeah, I think the guys below him, the Clippers are obviously interesting because we don't know what's going to happen with them. Right. Norm is already out. We expect Kawhi not to play. There's nothing on their injury report yet. Which is fair because it's 7 o'clock a.m. for the Clippers as it currently stands. So not surprised that they haven't submitted one. But I think the Clippers could be interesting. Kennard, Terrence Mann, both are probably in play. Kennard's been getting some decent run anyway. Since he's come back, he's played 20 to 26 minutes in every game, 3 straight double-figure scoring games. So if there's no Kawhi, maybe even a bump there. Terrence Mann, same thing, 20-plus minutes in back-to-back games. And then I said it to you the other day with Pat Connaughton, I know he's not taking a lot. I feel like the 4 shots has been a floor.
Yeah, he's taken 7 or more in 6 of the last 8 games, or 7 games, so.
With no Holiday, maybe if this is more competitive, he plays the 24 to 25 minutes he'd been playing regularly. So maybe Connaughton as well.
Okay. Small forward position. Market in here is at $8,100. Again, went for 40 against the Pelicans there. Last game out, he's averaging 48, so he obviously popped off for 50 in that first game against the New Orleans Pelicans there. Yeah, third game of the year, 56 fantasy points against him. I don't think Zion played in that game though. So, $8,100 for Lordy certainly can go there. We're not expecting Leonard to play, but if he does at $7,300,
Zion did play, by the way.
Zion did play. Okay. Then good game for market in there, up there. Leonard again, if he does play, I don't mind it at 73. It's a good price still. Middleton at 68. I think we'll certainly have no problems going back there. Again, we're looking for a little bit more of a higher scoring floor for him, but
say Mikal Bridges, John. Say his name.
Yeah, dude, 4 for 24, dude. 4. He still got you.
You know what though?
I'd play him.
Look,
if Booker's out, I'll play him.
Dude, my knock on Mikal Bridges has always been he just doesn't shoot. There's no volume.
Yeah.
Listen,
47 shots, dude.
If you're going to shoot 24 times, I don't care if you go 1 for 24. That's a great sign. That's look, there's a difference between me being upset with playing someone like Javon Carter versus someone like Mikal Bridges the other day. Same slate, right?
Because he had 24 opportunities to make a bucket.
Right? Dude, where Javon Carter probably just touched the ball and just kicked it right away, right? Yeah. And at least Bridges was making an attempt to score the basketball. That's all we can ask for. Like you said, he took 23 shots the game before, 24 shots. Probably going to take this many shots again if there's no Devin Booker.
At least, yeah, I agree.
And Ayton questionable as well.
Right. Yeah, Ayton questionable, big one there. Caleb Martin, of course, could be an interesting spot here for him. I know, again, no low volume shooter. I know we just talked about that, but minutes will be there. If guys are out, possibly an option.
Yep.
Where are we going under them? I mean, Herb Jones returned. He played 20 minutes. Najee Marshall, I still think played 20 minutes.
Yeah, he did.
Kind of split time.
Yep.
Eric Gordon, maybe some interest there for you at all?
Yeah, he's pretty good value, and I don't think
his minutes keep fluctuating too. I don't know what the deal is with that.
I'm interested because So if you look at like how the last couple of blowouts have played out for him, he's played 23 minutes in this Phoenix game, which was not competitive. And then he played 19 against Denver, but he's been like 28 plus in every other game. You know,
Yeah.
if you look through it, it's I like, yes, if this game gets a little wishy-washy, we're going to probably see more Kenyon Martin Jr. But are the Heat blowing anybody out?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they score enough to blow anybody out.
I agree. This feels like another spot where we're playing the mid-tier. The value is not really great here. Again, like Damian Lee qualifies, Landry Shamet qualifies, so like you can play those guys if you're going there.
Duncan Robinson, if everyone's out.
Yeah.
He played 21 minutes last night.
I agree with you. Power forward position. Giannis is 12-2 here. 56 fantasy points the other day. Again, not going to tell you not to play him. 30, 12, and 5.
Goes for 60 if that game stays competitive easily. 65.
Yep. Zion. Again, I said it the other day, like...
Dude.
I mean, yeah, he's good, right? But like now he's 10K, so 46 fantasy points like isn't what we want. We need more. So,
yeah. Well, 46 at 98 gets you 5x, right? Is that exactly 5x?
40. So 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, 45. 49 fantasy points is 5x.
To be fair, they lost by 20, and he
played 26 minutes.
Yep.
The game before that, he gave you 50 at 42 minutes, 50 at 37 minutes. So he's definitely just like a 5x guy right now. But
nobody plays him, John.
To your point, yeah, he would have a ceiling there if that game was competitive, right? So,
and nobody plays him. Like, it's kind of crazy because I think people are like, oh, well, there's not a lot of upside, whatever. But it's like look at things. Like, he went for back-to-back 60s. He would have just gone for who knows if this game stays competitive in 26 minutes. He was in foul trouble in the first half. I think he had all 3 of his fouls in the first half. Didn't get to play a full complement of minutes there. Like, there is upside. And I'm not saying I'm like, everyone knows I'm gung-ho about Zion this year, but like, he's been incredible, and there's still no Brandon Ingram. Like, let's not gloss past. There's no Ingram. Best environment on the board. There is upside for Zion here.
Yep, I'm with you. Again, I'll play him. I'll also play Butler at 87, assuming he's in.
Yep.
Really good price point for Jimmy Buckets because he's just being more active in the scoring department, not just facilitating. 87 for him. Our boy Jaren Jackson had 8 blocks the other day. He's got 17 blocks the last 3 games. Adams is active for this one, so he's not going to have that center position to himself in this game, but still, we like him there. On the opposite side, Bobby Poe, dude, 32 minutes against Golden State, 28 the game before that, back-to-back 40 fantasy points with double-doubles. We talk about this a lot with Bobby Portis, right? Like, when he's 6K, like, we should be considering him more because he has these ceiling pops when guys are out of the lineup. So, like, if Drew Holiday is going to be out, if Chris Middleton's going to be out, like, these guys are out of the lineup. They tend to find him 25, 30 minutes, so...
Yeah, because ultimately, like, they don't need to play traditional lineups. Like, they have a 7-footer who can go coast to coast in 3 dribbles, and they have Chris Middleton, who's a de facto point guard when he's on the floor anyway.
Yeah, and Portis is a stretch big usually, so like
Portis this year with Drew Holiday off the floor, 2% usage bump to 23.7%, 1.12 fantasy points per minute. So second highest on the team in fantasy points per minute, third highest in usage rate. Like, there's nothing wrong going Portis here. And I mean, look, the production, you just said it. The production speaks for itself.
He's been really good. Vanderbilt went for 49 in this game the other day in 23 minutes. He also had 5 fouls, so you got the full experience.
Dude, 23 minutes.
Yeah.
He went for 49 fantasy points.
Yeah. Kelly O only played 16 minutes because he had foul trouble there in the blowout. So tough Utah front court to figure out there. I do like Jabari Smith if Bam's going to be out of this game.
Sure.
I think that's kind of... I mean, he's been good. The shooting volume, again, has kind of been wishy-washy, but he blocks now in 4 straight games, double-digit rebounds in 2 of the last 4. So A good price point on a smaller slate. You played Torrey Craig the other day, 31 fantasy points. Probably going to run back to that. Well, again, a guy that gives you all the other stats.
Yep.
And if his shot drops, then good. You get a ceiling game out of him.
Right, 31 fantasy points with 2 for 9 shooting. So, which kind of shows you he's not crazy ceiling, but decent ceiling. I think I do too, like Jabari Smith, probably a little bit more. And I think his shot volume is probably a little more reliable than Torrey Craig's at this point.
Marcus Morris, again, if no Kawhi Leonard, going to be in a good spot here against Phoenix at 51. I've been saying to play Brandon Clark. He only played 30 minutes in that game against Atlanta. It was a blowout, but there was no Steven Adams. I would have expected maybe a little bit more, but
he started too. It's so annoying that he only played 23 minutes.
Yeah, 25, 24, 23 minutes the last 3 games there. So, again, I think at 5K, maybe he's too much now. Maybe he's probably too much now.
Well, hear me out here. If Milwaukee goes to that Portis lineup a lot, do we see a lot of Brandon Clark? Because you're not having Steven Adams chase Bobby Portis around the 3-point line, right?
You kind of need him for Giannis, don't you? Just the inferior presence there.
I mean, yeah, but also Giannis is
if you put Clark and Jackson on the front court against Giannis, Jackson's going to be in foul trouble.
I know, but you also I think it's hard to expect. I mean, Adams to be a rim protector, but imagine having Steven Adams also guard Giannis at the 3-point line, because Giannis isn't necessarily just catching in the post. He's just going downhill all the time. Yeah. Steven Adams is not.
I don't think you're going to have him chase out. I would think you're just kind of want his body.
Yeah, help when
they do collapse a little bit. Because Clark can go chase Brook Lopez. Clark can go chase around. I agree with you. Those guys can kind of rotate around.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the rim, you're gonna want a bigger guy.
That's fair.
Than Adams. I would think. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's at least how I would try. How I would attempt to defend, if there is such a thing, defending Giannis there. So, Batum started the second half for Zubats.
He was great. He was so good. He's been really, really good. I mean, let's be serious. Let's get real. Nick Batum is he's been a really good basketball player for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Clippers just have him hey, Nick, can you give us 30 tonight? Sure. Yes, coach.
He was very close to being a Boston Celtic, and then he wasn't. So.
And then he got $80 million from the Hornets and never played a game. Yeah. But Nick Batum is, I think,
30, 25, 27, 19, 29 the last 5.
And if Zubac doesn't play, does he start at center?
He might. If Kawhi doesn't play, he might start. I mean,
yeah, there's a good chance he starts.
The minutes have been great. 38, 32, 33, 27, 31. So it's not even he got the minutes because he did X. It's no,
he just got the minutes.
He's just in the game. Now, again, the shot volume is kind of weird, right? 11, 8, 12, 2, 9. There was a game earlier this year where he hit 7 threes. He was against Dallas. 7 for 7, 7 3-pointers. Just a wild Nick Batum day there. Anybody else here at power forward for you?
Yeah, I like Larry Nance.
Okay.
I think this could be a Nance day. I mean, I think Larry Nance is typically the option they choose over Jonas Valanciunas at this point. And that's probably it.
Highsmith probably if there's no Bam.
Yeah. Who knows?
Jovic?
Dude, who knows? Because both guys could be in the rotation. Both guys randomly float within the rotation. Who knows? We'll have to see the starting lineup, but one of those two guys would start.
So Jovic was assigned to the G League on 12-9, so I don't know if he's ever been called up.
No, if we would hear that.
Yeah,
so
Highsmith started center if Bam's out.
Yeah, he played 18 minutes last night too, so probably.
Or Dedmon back yet?
Yeah, Dedmon's back.
So Dedmon would start at center then.
Dedmon playing 12 minutes a game, and
yeah, but if he'd probably start and play 20.
Yeah, I would play him.
The only reason he didn't play all those minutes when Bam and all them were out before is because they had Jovic up. So
yeah, and he was hurt himself.
Yep. So all right, speaking of center here, Bam is 8,600 if he's in. I like him against Houston. Again, kind of disappointed yesterday, honestly, from a points perspective, and he fouled out against the Thunder. So tough looks for smash spot, but again, his last 2 matchups against very good opponents for centers, San Antonio and OKC, bad games for him. but he went off against the Pacers. But if he's in, we're in. If Ayton's in, we're in. Love that spot for him. Even if Booker being out would be great, but Ayton's been a really smash spot. If Bam is out, go to Sengun. I would imagine you're a big fan of that play here.
Yeah, only if Bam's out. But agreed. I wish they played the guy 35 minutes, but we can't have everything we want.
Can't have everything you want. I agree with you there. After that, like where are you looking here?
I mean, we know Valanciunas in tournaments, but 19 minutes last game, yikes. Steven Adams in tournaments.
Walker Kessler, 23 minutes, 11, 16, and 3.
Yeah, I think like maybe the play is Walker Kessler, just using him off the bench. Like we could play Walker Kessler.
Yeah. And then or play Bismack if he starts.
Yeah. Or Jock Landale.
Do they go Bismack or Jock Landale? Probably Bismack.
Who knows? They've been playing kind of both, right? Like both have like these guys are just these rotations are just wild. So yeah, there's a lot of potential value at center tonight. But I do like Batum, Nance, Kessler. I like that tier for like tournaments.
I agree with you. All right, let's build our lineup here. At the smaller slate, who's our locked in guy here? We going Zion again?
Our locked in guy, I don't know, like Paul George, assuming Kawhi's out because I assume Kawhi is out because he hasn't played back-to-backs this year,
Sure. Okay, so we'll go PG. Do we assume Butler plays?
Yeah, I think so because it's it was just knee management.
Okay.
So they haven't played him on a back-to-backs recently, but again, they're listing it as knee management. That is directly correlated to back-to-backs.
Okay. Point guard. Value, we have NAW is there at 49. Mid-tier guys we did like McCollum, Porter, Heroes at 8K. Trying to think of what the value guys that we were in. Struss is 48. I think we liked Struss.
Yeah, but like
Batum at 44.
Yeah, let's do Batum. The Struss thing is interesting because, or Strus is interesting because we don't know who's in and out for Miami.
Sure.
And he didn't play yesterday. Well, he did, but like Oladipo's the one who got the minutes.
Right. And
I think we both assume that Oladipo sits, but interesting to see how that like situation plays out in Miami because DraftKings doesn't even have
Booker practiced on Wednesday, so it seems like he's going to be active here.
See thinking about that value in
Lee or Shamit. Also knocks down obviously our guy there. Bridges.
Did you play Batum at center?
No, I put him at forward.
Okay. There's not great value. I mean, Eric Gordon is okay. The Suns obviously are interesting if they play Batum. I like Nance.
You want to play Jabari at center?
Yeah, I like Jabari Smith.
Or Walker Kessler at 49?
Yeah, one of those two guys work, I think. I think they're both solid GPP.
I think Kessler has a higher ceiling? Kessler's been giving us monster numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Jabari has the minute ceiling, but Kessler has rebounds, blocks, and point upside.
All right, let's go Walker Kessler here. So we have 5,700 for a guard, point guard, small forward, guard, and utility. We liked
Conley or NAW, one of those two guys.
Yeah, I'm fine going NAW here because he's playing just as much as Conley and he's just scoring more. So 6K basically for small forward, guard, and utility. Middleton at 68.
Yeah, I think so because we're not getting to Giannis. I think we should get to Middleton. Wish we can get to Jaren Jackson too, but he's also probably he's already probably in foul trouble.
Yeah, we got a $3,500 guard if we play Jaren Jackson. So
what about playing
actually I can
Brandon Clark?
Yeah, Brandon Clark.
But you didn't seem as bullish as I was on Clark.
Yeah, not really. Let's see. Jabari, we still play Jabari. $5,600 guard if we play Jabari at utility. Which is Conley, Reggie Jackson, Murphy. John Wall probably plays. I don't know your thoughts on John Wall.
John Wall's going to play. He's going to play, and there's no Kawhi. He's going to play 20.
Very hit or miss.
He's going to. The 29 minutes against Washington was definitely a nice surprise, and maybe it was a little motivational, right? Because it was his return to Washington. Because then he only played 19 minutes in that Boston game.
Yeah, let's go.
So
let's go Eric Gordon here, and then that will give us a $7,100 guard, which is Porter or Clarkson, Brooks.
I think it's
Lowry.
Probably Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green, that's fine. Yeah, Jalen Green.
Or if Lowry sits, we can pivot to Porter as like a contrarian play. But Jalen Green's definitely been the better of the two, right?
Yep, I agree. And then that would give us a $4,500 utility. Let's see here, 4,500 util. I mean, like Oladipo, if he played, would be there. Damian Lee, Shamet. I mean, we have Gordon already, so we'll just stick with Gordon for now. All right, so that's what we're going to do for our lineup here. Assuming Butler is in the lineup, of course, we'll have to make some changes if he isn't. But NAW, Paul George, Chris Middleton, Jimmy Butler, Walker Kessler, Jalen Green, Nick Batum, Eric Gordon. We got $500 to play with should any news break here on this slate. I believe it is... Who's on playbook today? Is it Ray?
Either Ray or Dylan or Kirksey.
One of the three. It's not James Rock. So we'll be in the Discord, as is everybody else will be in the Discord if you have any questions. Good luck. We will catch you guys for Friday's slate.
Ray Kuhn on playbook today.
Ray Kuhn on playbook, everybody. We'll catch you guys later.